162 Broadway. Please, the timekeeper is back.
Thanks for noticing.
At the last meeting, I made public applause for the assistance I got from Mr. Willie. I must once again repeat a positive. My family suffered an extreme tragedy, a trauma. My daughter was carjacked. She's 25 years of age. She was held hostage for a number of days down in New Orleans. I learned this over the weekend, post the event. And I was beside myself. Very difficult to communicate in New Orleans as a result of Katrina. I only had an email to go with. Trying to contact her was impossible, but she doesn't have her cell phone. She doesn't have her car any longer, but she escaped the clutches of whoever did this to her, and I thank God for that. I had nowhere to turn Monday morning, but I called Public Safety Director Richards. And I was, because the man has sit here many, many times, so I've come up here to confront you folks. And he's observed when I've been in your minds good and in your minds bad. But he responded immediately, way beyond the call of his position. What does he have to do with New Orleans? He told me he'd get back to me in a number of moments, and he did. And I was told to see. I'm glad to see him. He had to see me. Lieutenant Sommer, who literally cleared his desk first thing Monday morning, took whatever few bits of data I had, and pursued to look into the matter. He felt he did very little, and he felt he doesn't need any mention whatsoever. What he doesn't know is that even though he thought he hit a dead end with the detective down there, because there was no rape charge to deal with at the time, he opened the door because the police department of the city of Long Branch called, and then I followed up. They received my call. They identified the detective who was on scene, who spent over an hour on the phone bringing me up to speed. If it wasn't for the efforts of the Long Branch Police Department, specifically Director Richards, and the welcoming arms of Lieutenant Sommer, I don't think I would have broken through the great communication barrier, which no one is to blame because Katrina caused it in New Orleans. I would ask for your best wishes and your prayers for my daughter's recovery. Mr. Unger, it's good to see you there. I need to speak toward a resolution which is R26, or 32606, which I guess originally was to appoint Jacqueline Biddle until Mr. Unger is certified. I see the large gap between the votes. I don't think there'll be a problem with certification. If you need to appoint anyone subsequent to the election, I would ask from the floor to be amended to appoint Mr. Unger, or strike the resolution if you can by law. In closing, I just want to say this, and it's coming from my heart. I commend everyone who ran in this election. I think a very clear message has been sent by the people, not by me or Matosa alone, but by the entire city. And I think that message is loud and clear. There are three things, and I know you're not there yet, legally, that have deteriorated over the last 12 years that I could speak specifically to. The freedom of religion, the exercise of religion, has been harmed, and that there's nowhere in the city of Long Branch where it is permitted primarily. There's nowhere. Zero tolerance. There's no primary permitted use for it. And there was an ongoing 12-year battle with my organization, so it's a self-interest, and I apologize for that. Property rights, you're well aware of it. I don't need to spend another moment on it. But at late, our freedoms of speech have been assailed. Not so much with the clock. The clock is an appropriate thing when handled properly. But when we're told what we can and cannot say, how we must stand, where we must look, and how we discuss our concerns with our elected officials, it's been a shame. I know it's hard. You're the only one there. But I hope that you have an influence over everyone you have to work with so that they also see the message of the people of the city of Long Branch. Thank you.
Mr. Brown, I agree with you that the city needs to be whole again.
just because Mr. Unger has won, I don't think that makes it whole. It's going to take a lot more than that. It's going to take a lot of effort on everybody's part on the council to make that become reality. We want Long Branch to be whole again. We want it to be one city. I think them electing Brian has made that little step. I think it's our first step to getting there, but we have a lot more ahead of us. We need the council, again, to get rid of the eminent domain abuse in this city. We need Matosa, Beach Front South, the Broadway corridor to be taken out of the redevelopment zone, and or just not to use eminent domain in those areas. We shouldn't have this hanging over our heads. We shouldn't be fearful that our properties are going to be taken. We should be working with the city to develop and revitalize our own areas without the use of eminent domain, and it should be taken off the table. We have, you say the city needs to be whole again. Again, I agree, but that can't happen when good faith negotiations with the city get hampered and are false, because the city is trying to take our two rights away: our property rights, ownership of our homes, and our right to choose our own council. And that is ludicrous. Those two things is what makes America great, and Long Branch is trying to take those away from us. So although I agree with you, I think we need to look at everything again, and for Long Branch to be whole again, it's going to take a lot more effort on all 5 council people's parts.
Carl Cooper, 113 South 7th Avenue, Council, Mayor, Council President, welcome back. Congratulations, Mr. Unger. I was listening to you applaud the democratic system that we have in this country. And it's true, I guess this country is better than most, but basically from an economic standpoint, most of our people eat. The rest of the world doesn't. First of all, this has never been a democracy. This is a republic. And it's becoming less and less of a democracy. A case in example, the election that was just held yesterday. We had a candidate here that received almost 2,000 votes, was the number 6 candidate in the May election. Yet he was overlooked. We spent taxpayers' money to have another election, which I thought was a farce, because a candidate that gets almost 2,000 of the people's votes, if this is in fact a democracy, should have been no question. I listened to the president this morning dismiss one of his father's cronies and brought about another one. People of this country, this is not a democracy, and we're losing it. I feel that the people I'm addressing up here now is our last bastion of democracy in this country. Municipal government, small cities like this, where the people should be able to speak and rule. And even here, we're limited our First Amendment rights in 5 minutes. So I speak to the council as people in this community who are here in the community, find families, sons, daughters. Please don't turn an ear to the people. Mr. Unger, I think you're a good man. How much you'll accomplish up there is yet to remain. But like one of the speakers said earlier, we still have multitudes of problems in this city. We have a lack of housing, a lack of jobs. Our children are running wild. In fact, in our schools. Forget the streets. They're running wild in our schools. We have a lot of work to do. And like Councilman Brown said, we do need to get together. We do need to get together.
For Buttonwood Avenue. Brian, I also would like to congratulate you on your big win yesterday. Hopefully you're going to be the voice, like you said when you were running for election, that is for us. I know you're not going to be able to accomplish much up there with what's going on, with what's been demonstrated over the past 12 to 16 years. The corruption's got to stop. The FBI is still here. We know it. There's rumors. It's still going on.